This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we review the Bob Odenkirk action thriller Nobody. Plus, is Bob Chapek going to lead Disney to disaster? We get our first look at Kevin Smith's Netflix Masters of the Universe show, and Amazon is making the most expensive season of a TV ever.
What?
All that and more in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Sunday, May 16th, 2021.
This is Norm MacDonald, and you're listening to the, hang on, I got it here. It says, the Jock and Nerd Podcast, known for their series of gay erotica found on Amazon, No? That's not that? Oh. Well, I fucked that up, I guess.
Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. Shock it, we nerd it. We funny, disturb it. We shock it, we nerd it. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah!
That's right. What's up, listener? How's it going? And welcome to the Jock and Nerd Podcast, where we always give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
And joining us is the DC Comics version of Rug Boy. We call him Carpet Lad. What's up, Carpet Lad?
Hello, sir. How are you? Nice to be on the show today.
Yeah, since this is the DC version of Rug Boy, Carpet Lad is very polite. He's not as funny.
And my costume sucks, too.
And his costume is horrible. Yes, that's as par for the course for DC Comics characters.
The DC version of me would probably have all of his teeth.
Yes, he has all of his teeth and he doesn't swear. It's very boring. Nobody wants this. Anthony, welcome back. We missed you. The listeners missed you last week.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm glad you could make it. Tell us what happened and how did this happen? I need to know this story.
What happened? What do you mean?
Last week, why couldn't you make the show? I want to know.
I just didn't want to be here.
Oh, is that what happened? Oh,
and we came up with an elaborate excuse for you about getting scratched. We really know you were just getting laid. It was warm out. He got back out there.
We had a show? What?
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, I had a little scratchy scratch on my eye.
Oh.
I was walking up the stairs, and my pup was very excited to see me, and he was at the top of the stairs. So as I was coming up, he was a little elevated, and he
had the high ground. Anthony,
he had the high
ground.
He had the high ground, exactly. He jumped on my face, and a nail happened to get me in the eye.
Oh, no.
At first, I just thought it was like a normal eye poke. So like for a bit, it was just like kind of like painful, but not like too bad. And then later on in the day, it was just, one of the most terrible pains I've ever had in my life. Probably every 20 minutes, just shooting pain in my eye.
Oh, damn.
So, yeah, I had to go see an ophthalmologist or an optometrist, and they had like a scratch on the eye. Luckily, it wasn't like in the middle, but the eye is pretty, there's a lot of nerves there apparently. So,
you think?
Pretty painful. I had to avoid like light and look like Stevie Wonder for a little bit in my own place. So that was fun. Just a lot of eye drops and
turn all the
I was
lights
walking around
off
with the patch at first,
Nice.
and they were like, "We don't do that anymore.
No.
Not supposed to do that." So I got quickly scolded to not wear a patch.
Is it politically incorrect? Why? I thought it was a cool
because you can trap bacteria in there.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
I'm
don't
picturing
wear the patch.
I'm picturing this whole thing like Jerky Boys thing. Like my eyes, I can't see so good.
What happened? I gotta sue everybody. Messed up my eyes. Is it 100% better now, or you still?
Yeah. I feel
good.
pretty much normal now. So it does heal pretty quick as long as you don't get a infection in there.
So, Ruggs, that's how something like that could happen. He's like, how would something like this happen?
Yeah, I actually heard about that because I was so bored last week in the dark that I decided to throw on the Jock and Nerd podcast. Yeah,
sorry.
So I heard Ruggs ask how something like that could happen, and that's how it did.
Yeah.
So good. You guys did a decent show without me.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. Also,
it wasn't the same, but yeah,
it wasn't the same. But the show goes on. Also, trim the fucking dog's nails. How about that? How about
the
that?
The dog's nails are trimmed.
Okay, it's just.
So they can be extra sharp when they scratch it the next time.
Flat. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like it was just a fucking fluke accident.
Yeah, it was just like one of the most fluke things that's ever happened.
Oh man! All right. Well, glad you're okay. And
I'm glad you're better. Yeah.
You could watch things.
It was like a week at work where like it was one of the more important weeks at work.
Shit.
So it was like, yeah, boss, I'm not going to be able to work.
I have to sit out all this important stuff.
I have to sit out like one of the more important. It was almost like, it just got hard, and I don't want to do this anymore. So I'm just going to stay at home.
It's a good excuse, though. Come on. They can't be like, look, I got to scratch.
Fuck my fucking eye. I mean, what am I supposed to do?
All right. Well, we're back full force, 100%.
Can I give my TMNT thoughts now? I see where it is in the notes.
Oh, you want to do it now?
I want to do it right now. Just knock it out.
Okay.
Just because you guys talked about it last week, let's just keep it going.
It was I love talking about it, and I was dying to hear what you thought. Give us your thoughts. Go.
Really quick. Well, I always liked Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Was a big fan of that movie as a kid. Had owned the VHS. That one and part 2. Part 3 I knew as a kid sucked, even then. But it had been a very long time. I can't remember the last time I've seen that movie. So to revisit that movie as an adult was definitely an experience.
Yeah.
Overall, I'll say this. As you guys kind of mentioned, the live action suits and them doing martial arts in those suits is still freaking amazing. I mean, I don't know how they pull that off. And it's the fact that it's on, all of that is on screen is amazing.
70-pound suits and they're doing fucking roundhouse kicks. Crazy.
The script is much more horrible than I thought it was as a kid. The script and the dialogue is fucking really bad at times. I mean, there's like some weird decisions. April O'Neil, like the middle where she's at they're in this like dilapidated farm that she owns that looks run down, and then she's drawing pictures of them, and that's like narration for what they feel.
Yeah, she's an artist.
Strange.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like what? She's an artist? What did this happen?
I don't know where that came from.
And like the shift until like Splinter's gone the whole time, and like they should be sad, but they're still cracking jokes. And, like, but then like there's like some really cool stuff. Like there's some really cool tonal shifts. Like Shredder, anytime Shredder's on screen is freaking like super ominous. The opening shot with Shredder, you guys didn't mention this, but the opening shot where he walks in and it's the long shadow.
Yeah, it's great.
And the camera like pans on like some sort of wire, like comes all the way down behind him, around him, and then in front.
Yeah, is
like one of the most epic entrances for a villain you'll ever see.
True.
That's all on camera.
You got that one.
Yeah.
That one is like fucking amazing. And the scene where like Splinter's narrating his like origin and like his master getting killed.
Yeah, that's great.
The fucking woman dying, and it's like, this is a kid's movie, and like that, like anytime they do Splinter stuff, it's like really good.
Yep.
So like, I like have mixed emotions. Like the movie overall, like in terms of like writing and dialogue, is pretty terrible, and the tone like is shift all the time. But then like when it's like really good, like when they hit the notes on like
when it
Shredder
clicks,
stuff, or like the comedy, or like Raphael, or like the practical, like technically. There's a lot of really amazing stuff in this movie.
For the price of they paid for it.
How they made it. There's it does get dark. There's that scene where Tetsu just like almost like kills, though. He just freaks out and starts beating everyone down, remember? And I think they had to tone that back because at one point they were trying to imply that he killed the dude lying down there. And then April has that line, I forgot, where the ninjas attack her and she goes, "What did I miss? My Sony payments?" I was like, whoa, okay. That's an interesting line there.
The fact that what's his name is in this movie, Justin Hammer. What's that actor's name?
He's one of the Foot Clan guy.
The fuck from Green Mile too. That he's like a super famous actor.
Yeah, he was in Charlie's Angels too. It's his premiere role. I forget his name off the top of my head too.
He's such a fucking famous actor.
I gotta look it up.
Hold on. Who is the famous actor in this?
Dude, you don't realize? Okay, wait 1 second. I'm gonna pull it, and we're all gonna be like, "Oh, that guy." Sam Rockwell's in this.
Sam Rockwell's in this?
Yeah,
how did I miss that?
He's a fucking teenager.
Oh shit!
So he's like the lead gangster teenager that, like, at the end is like, "Oh, okay, well, we won't do this anymore."
Oh, that's Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell.
How could you miss it? It's obvious as hell.
It didn't.
I forgot to bring it up. Oh my god!
No,
this is why we need Anthony on the show.
Oh my god! Yes, I never. Skeet Ulrich and Scott Wolf are in this as thugs also.
Yeah, when I listened to it last week, I'm like, you guys are missing some stuff. What's going on?
This is why we need Anthony.
But overall, like, very mixed movie. I still enjoyed it. not as good as I remember it as a kid, but then also like extremely amazing in some points.
Right,
It's just like, so again, like technical wizardry and like the stuff they just kind of go for, and like they like threw so much at you that it was like it didn't always coalesce into like a coherent movie. But they were doing so many different things that it's like, man, this movie's super ambitious.
I feel like that's the case for a lot of 80s movies, though. I feel like that it's par for the course. Like unless it's like a Spielberg movie or something like that, most 80s movies don't make a lot of sense. And I think I was saying it last week, you just have to kind of roll with it. Like,
well, you mentioned the seance thing. That made me laugh.
Yeah. They just fucking include crazy shit, but they do it for some kind of reason to kind of hit a button, but like there's no rhyme or reason to like how it fits into the story. Mm-hmm. They just kind of like, we're doing this, and you're just gonna like, there's a guy with a ski mask on, and we're not gonna explain anything ever.
And he's able to hold off all the goons. with all his different
with a golf club and a baseball
weapons.
bat and a cricket bat. I mean, it's like
you mentioned a couple of things real quick. Raphael was definitely the best character.
Yep.
You had him. Everyone's like super New York, by the way. Like,
well, they grew up in New York sewers.
Raphael is the best. Leonardo kind of gets the short shaft. He's really like a vanilla character. The other Donatello, you can tell, is like they don't really get into how smart he is. I think they left that for the second one. And then Michelangelo is just like the goofball.
Yeah.
The other good thing though about this movie is like I thought the soundtrack still holds up. Like anytime they play the Turtles theme or like any of the different themes they would use, I like still enjoyed all of it.
I had it on cassette tape because the theme song was a rap song, the song in the credits, and it's really bad. I remember it being a lot better. I used to know all the words to that song, and I'm like, whoa, this is bad.
I think the foot theme or whatever, that like really dark, edgy theme.
Yeah.
I forget how it goes right now, but in the moment, I was like, this is really fucking intimidating.
Well, it's one of the even though it's 1990, it's one of those last great 80s movies that is dark and it's for kids, but you're surprised it's for kids. You know, they don't really make those anymore. It's really dark, but also endearing and charming and timeless in a weird way. So
I had to give it a score.
Yes,
I mean the script is really fucking bad. It's really bad, and the dialogue at times is brutal. Like 5.75.
Okay.
But like,
it's fair.
Because it's like really brutal in terms of how it's written, but then technically it's like amazing at times.
The heads are amazing still. They still look great.
And Shredder
looks great.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
Anytime he's on screen, it's like, what the fuck? Like, this is a different movie when this guy gets on screen.
Yeah, I mean, they got a lot of things right.
It has no right to be even that good.
No, it doesn't.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it.
And the fact that it's still probably like the most cohesive Turtles movie out of all of them still.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the fact that they've gone to like CGI and you have this where you see practical turtles, like, why?
It's a magic. There's just a magic to it.
Go back to that.
Yeah, go back to that. You could do that.
Back to that.
Imagine making those animatronic heads now. Like, they could kill it. It would look amazing. Do that.
You could probably like do it now and make them like make their lips move in the tone of what they're talking.
Their tongue,
right? That's a little off.
I would love to see what practical can do now with all the technology that we have, all the smaller microchips and servos and all of that stuff, like remote Bluetooth shit. You don't need wires.
You don't need these puppeteers standing right there. And that's right. I think the closest we saw, Ruggs, is that, what was that Jim Henson show on Netflix that they canceled?
Dark Crystal?
Dark Crystal. There was some amazing stuff in there in terms of suits.
I still think they were using old school methods. I don't think they were using new shit yet. Like, I don't think they were using state of the art, like top of the line shit. Like, because they have to make that budget work for an entire show.
Yeah.
But imagine you have to create 20 to 30 minutes of like pure magic on screen with effects using practical.
Disney has this technology. It's in their theme parks. They use it for everything. They're amazing animatronic, expressive machine people, and they could do it. They could kill this now. It'd be amazing.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
But they're not going back to practical. Like we said, they're doing CG reboot with Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg. So, all right, good. I'm so glad I wanted to talk to you about this. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles wraps up our review from last week. Okay, let's do some geek news now.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
You guys, Disney had one of them earnings calls this week where they talk about earnings and stuff.
Was it good? Was it good?
Well, there's some interesting.
How much did they earn?
They earn some shit. I don't know how much, but there's usually a few nuggets of information that come out of this. The first being what they're doing with their movies, notably Shang-Chi and Free Guy moving forward. Black Widow is coming out in July. Day and date. We have to see it on Disney Plus the same day it hits the theater. Shang-Chi and Free Guy will get a 45-day theatrical release before hitting Disney Plus.
Oh, shit.
So it used to be 90 days as the standard, but I think that 90 days is gone. I think everyone, now that they're going to do this, I think everyone's going to do that. Comments on that, first of all, anything.
45-day, that's like a little over a month,
Month
right?
and a half. You can go to the theater, or you could just wait and watch it at home a month and a half. I think it's a good compromise. I would prefer it to come out the same day, of course.
I mean, this is what I was saying a long time ago. So I think they finally caught up to me. No, just kidding. I'm just like, yeah, I mean, a month and a half that's going to be your main domestic take, right? So everything else is going to go happen overseas when all those markets open eventually, because they don't all open at the same time. But like domestically, it makes sense. Like after 45 days, you're going to get trickles of stuff.
So this will help people getting them back in the theater, Anthony, you think?
Yeah, I think people definitely want to do shit, first off. 45 days, that doesn't really mean anything to me, just because if there's ever a movie I want to see, I see it within the first week.
Right.
So the window for me has never been a factor of like wanting to catch something before it runs out in the movie theater. But I think generally people want to do stuff, and as we've seen with Godzilla versus Kong, people go to a movie theater.
Yeah, and this is September, so it's still a ways away. Yeah, we were just talking about how I noticed, like, I see photos on social media of people in New York and Chicago, and the weather is nice, and there's people fucking everywhere. Oh my God, everybody's in Central Park, everybody's outside hanging out. It's strangely
I've
normal.
been out. Yeah, it's pretty normal.
It's crazy. And
seems normal.
And then combine the fact with the CDC just said, hey, fuck it. It's over. You got a vaccine? Take your mask off. It's done. You can do whatever you want. It's over. Back to normal, people. Open up. I guess
that's a strange thing to me.
It is a very strange thing to say after they have been giving us these measured, slow updates throughout this whole thing. And suddenly they're like, take it off. We're done.
Now, can I ask some obvious questions? Do you think that they knew that there wasn't really a big deal? Or is it really true that these vaccines are just so amazing that Bill Maher got it, and and the Yankees got it, and it's like this news coming out at the same time, just so weird. The vaccines are amazing, but then people are still getting it, like the Yankees and Bill Maher.
People are still getting it after they were vaccinated.
There is breakthrough infection.
That's what it's called. Yeah, and but they're saying that it works against all the variants.
It's good enough if you study it or if you look at the stuff, they say it's good enough that even if you get it, you won't have as severe of a sickness, and that if you have it and it's like no asymptomatic, you have a low chance of spreading it. So yeah,
your load is small. You have a small load. Is what they say.
Viral load.
I got a small load over here. My problem is I have this little white piece of paper with printed ink with some ink writing on it that I could make it in Photoshop in literally like 5 minutes.
At this point,
how is anybody enforcing this?
You can't.
No, you can't.
So at this point, everyone can do what they want.
It's just an excuse to say you're vaccinated, take your fucking mask off, go on with your life. Great. I may still wear my mask certain places. I still think
definitely don't trust people
on a plane. I think if you're in public transportation, in a hospital,
you have to.
Yeah, you have to.
We still can't. We should have been wearing them anyways on planes in these public areas, I think. Anyways, how did we get to this? Sorry, my fault.
You did it.
I did it.
This is your fault.
Other thing that they mentioned on the earnings call, Disney Plus has now reached 103.6 million subscribers.
Oh, shit.
Sounds like a great number. However, Wall Street analysts didn't think this was all the growth that they were expecting. Their number was they thought they'd make 109.3. So it's a little bit different. 103, 109.3. They mentioned the other thing that happened recently is Disney Plus had its first price increase. It went up $1 in the US to $7.99. They did also get 20 million subscribers in the last quarter of last year.
Oh, shit.
Unbelievable. But this slowdown seems to be affecting all the streaming services as Netflix gained, in comparison, same quarter one, only 4 million. new streaming
wanna know why?
subscribers. Why? What's happening? People are going outside?
People are going outside.
People are going outside. I think that's what's happening, as we
That's
just talked about.
It does seems like there's a correlation there.
Yeah, it does. Okay, that makes sense.
People are tired of being inside. It's nice out.
Yeah.
They're vaccinated, or they're claiming they're vaccinated, or they don't give a fuck about being vaccinated, and they're going outside.
So these services got this bump, but they have to expect it to fucking level out
of
now
course.
back to normal, obviously. Yeah, so they said they're still on track to reach their goal of 230 to 260 million subs by 2024, the end of 2024. Ruggs, any comment on the number of subscribers? Is it enough? Too much? Too fast? Too slow?
Too much?
I think it's too much. I think less people should be
Yes,
subscribing.
everyone cancel your
I don't know. It sounds fine. I mean, it sounds like normal. I mean, look, how much can they get? There's only so many people in the world, and so many people give a fuck about watching movies. Not everyone cares about watching TV and movies.
Yeah,
so.
Netflix sitting at what, like 200 plus million. So there's
I have a Disney question for you guys.
Okay.
Before we move on.
Disney. Yeah, I got more Disney news. Go
How
ahead.
is Bad Batch?
Bad Biatch is pretty good. I'm
Bad
digging
Biatch.
it. It's a Snoop Dogg's first show. I made that
I
joke.
can't see Anthony watching it, to be honest.
No, I don't know if you or the Anthony will enjoy it.
Well, that's off of like Clone Wars and whatever the other one was, right?
Yeah.
So
Rebels.
I haven't seen those. So
You don't really need to see those though to enjoy this. I've seen a little bit of Clone Wars and Rebels. I haven't seen the whole thing, but I think you could still follow it because they set up these characters pretty well.
Is it good?
It's good.
I
Yeah,
like
it's
it.
good.
I like
But it's the reason why I'm saying you probably wouldn't like it is it's very boilerplate at this very moment.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And I don't know if it's going to grab you. I don't even know how much it's going to change. And I have a feeling it's going to get less boilerplate as we get into it, but it seems like very generic. So it doesn't have anything that really pull you in. And it doesn't, and there's no like, really big characters that you know from Star Wars lore.
Right,
This is kind of like this side group of, you've seen the Bad Batch in something else, or maybe you haven't ever seen
They've
the Bad
been
Batch.
in something else in Clone Wars.
Yeah, they've been in the Clone Wars, and that last one with
The last
Ahsoka
season.
Tano.
Okay.
So they were there. We saw them. They were on a mission with everybody in Clone Wars, but now we're seeing them on their own. But yeah, the Bad Batch. It's easy to follow. If you want to get into a Star Wars series, you could probably easily follow what's going on. But I don't know if you'd like it. That's the only thing.
There's a part of it that's kind of for kids also. I think it's skewing to get like kind of a younger, broader audience. And they're definitely just setting things up right now. It's kind of formula. Ruggs is absolutely right. So I'm curious.
I'm just curious because, sorry, Imran. I'm just curious because of how lauded Mandalorian was and how it just kind of sparked Star Wars on Disney Plus being back.
It's similar. It's similar in the sense of the episodes are kind of like these one-off episodes that are building to a whole thing, and they're like, the mission.
Well, they're
of the
Mandalorian adjacent because they're all dealing with, Jango Fett's DNA, which is used for the clones.
Right, all the clones. Yeah.
So, they're all like kind of Mandalorian adjacent. So there is there is something to it that, these troopers and the Mandalorians, they're warriors. They're bred to be warriors.
It's
and there's
like
kind of like a correlation.
G.I. Joe meets Star Wars a little bit, everyone's got these characters have each one has a specific thing they do, a specialty in fighting, tracking or sniper or tech stuff. The first episode, 75 minutes. Maybe check that one out. You might get sucked into it, but
25 minutes. Holy shit.
yeah, it's a long one. And then they're like half-hour episodes. So they give you a lot to set up the beginning. But I agree with Ruggs. I don't know. I don't know if you should wait for just
I feel like
Mandalorian season 3.
I feel like this show, I'm very just curious about where the show is going. Like, I have no idea why they would make this show. It seems like such a non-show to make.
Just filler. Just filler.
Like it has to lead to something big. And if it doesn't, then I'm going to be like, why did you make this show?
Well, the live action shows, can point to lead to something big. I don't know if these animated shows can just be like whatever, like in their own little pockets, but maybe it is leading to something.
Like even
It's canon
Rebels
now. Yeah, it's all canon.
Rebels and Clone Wars,
They did
it gave
stuff.
you
Yeah.
Ahsoka Tano fucking fought Darth Vader in the all right. There's all the stuff that ties into all this other stuff in Star Wars that's major. So here, even though we have Order 66, which is a major turning point, and we do have the Emperor, And I think we do have Darth Vader in this too.
No,
I think
but after he's not Darth Vader yet. This is I thought this is in between episodes 2 and 3.
Oh, is it?
Because doesn't it start at the end of the Clone Wars?
Yes, at the end of Clone Wars, Order 66 is
and then that's when he starts going bad. Oh, bad. Then, maybe he is Darth Vader. I don't know.
No, he is Darth Vader because if Order 66 is given, that means that all of the Jedi have to be killed, and there's still Jedi in Return of the Sith.
Right.
So this is
so maybe we can see Darth
we're in
Vader.
a Darth Vader world right now.
Okay, so maybe he'll show up. That would be cool.
So yeah, and plus the last thing with Ahsoka Tano and Darth Vader, that whole thing, they were in that same timeline. So obviously Darth Vader exists there. So,
right. Okay. I'm wrong.
So we're in Darth Vader.
Wrong.
So there is a possibility of Darth Vader and some of the other characters still being around.
Okay. Well, I'm in. So
like Obi-Wan could still be around, and
I think Star Wars fans are enjoying it. But look, speaking of Disney, I brought up all this earning call shit because I found this article put out the same day this earning call happened. I don't know if you guys got a chance to read it. The headline from Variety: Disney's new world order leads to confusion and bruised egos. Right?
Oh, shit.
This is a very interesting article. A lot to unpack here. Did you guys get a chance to skim this over at all?
Yeah, I took a look at it, but
Yeah.
What, Anthony, what did you get from this article? There seems to be, it's a transition year. We talked about how Bob Iger this year stepped down as CEO. Bob Chapek stepped in. Iger still in the background as chairman of the board as Bob Chapek starts to take full transition this year. Now, Iger did a lot of shit. We talked about the last decade, what amazing things
he was
he's
the
done.
acquisitions man.
He was the acquisitions man. He got, he put his faith in Kevin Feige. He launched the MCU. All the shit this guy loves to support the creative. Everything starts from the story, the creative, and they build everything that way. And he's streamlined the company in the past 10 years, right? Let's not forget, he's the guy who took out Ike Perlmutter. He took out the committee that was like in between things.
But you make him sound like he's a fucking hitman.
Well, he took out a lot
of auditor.
Like the auditor, he took out a lot of unnecessary bureaucratic levels so that things could be worked on better and streamlined and come out faster. Right now, this article describes Bob Chapek's way of doing things, and it kind of sounds like it's the fucking opposite.
Oh, shit.
And he's going backwards. What did you think of this article, Anthony?
To be honest, other than the fact that it's just a new leader, so obviously things are going to be different. I didn't really make anything of it because at the end of the day, it didn't really, I think I would care more if I saw some effect of what was happening on screen, but I don't know that I've seen anything different.
Well, here's the thing. You won't
But maybe once we do, maybe then we could comment on it. But other than that, it just sounds like a lot of people complaining about someone that's different in the role, not leading the way the other guys led.
Well, here's the thing. If this guy starts...
Again, it doesn't affect me. I don't
Not yet,
care,
but
really.
if this guy starts to fuck up the process that's worked so well that in 4 or 5 years, we will see huge effects.
Yeah, then we could point back to this article. But now it's just like... It just seems like a lot of drama behind the stage that I don't really care about.
Yeah, they don't get along. But my question is, Bob Iger set up this thing, he streamlined the way things are done, and then he's stepping down. You come in, why would you undo that? It sounds like Bob Chapek is adding things back in and removing power from the creatives back to the executives and the corporate level. Ruggs, what is your take on this?
I don't like too much corporate oversight.
Yeah.
I feel like that the guys in the suits don't get anything. They just look at charts and shit and they guess. And so as much as possible, I want them not to be involved. So I'm not really that pumped about, Chapek's ways of doing things. But as Tony said, when we see how it affects the films, and we'll see. I'm pretty sure it's going to be bad. So
I don't think it's going to be good. He could be leading them backwards into a disastrous path here, because people are like, it's so different here than 6 months ago. It's become convoluted, and nobody knows, who reports to what. So it just sounds like a nightmare.
Well, you asked the question, and I wanted to kind of address that. Like, basically you're saying, why did this new guy come in and rock the boat, right?
Yeah.
Like, why did he not just keep everything the way it was?
Yeah.
It's been going smoothly. And I would say that I think a lot of guys that get up to, that want to be leaders of gigantic companies like that, not only want to like lead, but they also want to put their stamp on things.
Okay, yeah.
And, like, who wants to be the guy that just like copied what the guy in front of him did?
Plus, I mean,
Right.
Chapek got this in a really bad position where it's in the middle of the pandemic and they suddenly shifted everything towards streaming and Disney Plus, and you got to launch this thing. That's a hard job. However,
Yes, I mean, I think what I would say though is like, I have no idea how it's going to play out. It might play out terribly, but I think like if he's a guy in his position, he goes, "You elected me to be like, or elected me, but you chose
picked me, yes.
I earned this,
Yeah.
whatever you want to
Yeah.
say that to this position. Like, let me lead how I want to lead, right? Like, you can't if you're the top guy and if you got promoted to that spot, are you promoted to that spot to be like someone else? No, you're promoted to because you earned it and you did the things that you would do to get to that spot.
What's interesting is I was listening to John Campea talk about this story, and he mentioned that where did Bob Chapek come from? You want to look at his pedigree, what he's done. He used to manage the parks, and if you ask the hardcore fans of the Disney parks, they will point to him and say that guy fucked up the parks, right? So this is not a good trend already, and now he kind of gets this position. Also, it's funny,
Interesting.
Alan Horn, who's the head guy, he is going to step down and maybe replaced by another Alan Bergman. So Disney just replaced people with the same first name because it's
I
easier
think
to
that's the way
remember.
yeah. We need a new Bob.
Oh,
They just, if Bob's and Allen's, I don't want to have to remember another new name.
We need a Chuck.
Is there a
We have a
Chuck
Chuck.
out here?
We got one in accounting. Well, put a Subaru on him and send
it's
him up here.
I don't know why they replaced Alan with Alan and Bob with Bob. I just hope Kevin Feige could navigate this and still keep this franchise good if he's changing these things. Because I heard great things about Iger, how he, loved the talent and saw the story. And I hope this guy's the same way. I don't know.
We'll see how it plays out.
I'll let you know in about 5 years, listener. Check back.
oh,
We'll still be here. But if you want to get in touch and join the conversation now, like this year, join our Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. It's closed. It's exclusive just for you. We're all in there. Rug Boy's in there. We get to hang out, post fun, geeky things. Welcome Nick Jennings to the group. Jock and Nerd. And thank you.
Welcome, Nicholas.
Nicholas Jennings. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining.
Sure.
Here is a weird decision
Sure.
Disney has made. Let me ask you about this one. This one doesn't make a lot of sense. Apparently, even though Disney fired Gina Carano from The Mandalorian
oh shit.
earlier this year, they are still promoting her as Best Supporting Actress for the Emmys for her role in The Mandalorian.
Is that a contractual obligation, you think?
Is it? They put out a poster with everybody's name. Now, it's not just her. This poster has everybody's names. They want Pedro Pascal, Best Lead Actor. She's the only one they're putting up as Supporting Actress. I don't understand what kind of message this sends. It's kind of confusing. Do you want to promote and get a person you fired and make sure they get an award? Anthony, what do you think?
I don't think she's going to win.
No.
And I have no idea who the competition is against. So I'm speaking just purely on what I think about her acting skills. But it'd be really amazing to see her win
Shit.
and win
Oh,
and be
shit.
put in a position to win an award for a company that she's been let go of.
Can you
So that'd be
imagine
fun.
that fucking acceptance speech? Oh,
Awkward.
wow. I want to see that. You think she even shows up? I guess
Oh, yeah, she'll show up.
she'll be,
Oh,
she'll
yeah.
be there.
She's looking for a platform.
She's like, I got a chance. I could get up there on a microphone. I'm fucking there. But Ruggs, you're probably right. The contractual though, with maybe you have to. Even what if you suck? What if you did the season and you suck? You still be like, you have to nominate me. You
I
have
don't
to
know.
put
I
me
just can't believe. I think they're obligated to do it. I feel like that there's something baked in.
up. 4 year. It's a 4-year consideration. There's a bunch of guest actors that they're putting up for Emmys. Now, let's not forget. Last year they got 15 Emmy nominations, 7 fucking wins.
Oh shit.
This is an Emmy-winning show right out the bat, right out the gate. So we'll see July 13th if the Emmys fall for the Gina Carano bait. I don't know. That's a weird one. Here's another good story about a new director that you all love, Anthony. We love Regina King, directed One Night in Miami. Amazing on Watchmen. She has her next job. It is a comic book property. Regina King is going to be directing the adaptation Bitter Root for Legendary.
Oh, shit.
There's a lot of fucking cool things about this. The first thing being episode 317, Anthony, the last convention we went to, C2E2, February 2020, right?
That's
Yeah.
right.
I talked to co-creator
I
and
think it was
artist.
March.
It was March. I talked to Sanford Green, who is the artist and co-creator of Bitterroot. You can hear him. You can hear my conversation with him. And back then, he goes, there's something happening. We've been optioned. I can't really talk about it. And then I see this fucking story, and I was like,
Geek boner.
oh, this is fantastic. What do you think? I know you probably guys don't know what Bitterroot is. Does anybody know?
Yeah, it's like a bunch of like vampire hunters, monster hunters that live up in Harlem, I believe.
Yeah,
right?
it's from Image, and it's about monster hunters.
I love Sanford Green's artwork, so that's why.
Yeah,
I
he's
know about
great.
it.
Harlem Renaissance. There's, and I have the first trade paperback. He signed it to me, and if you follow him on Instagram, you can catch him inking and drawing the pages and the covers all the time. Lots of fun. His art is great. Really nice guy. Couldn't happen to a better guy. And Anthony, what about this pick? Regina King. Now that you know, this is kind of a sci-fi story set in the Harlem Renaissance about monster hunters.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting choice because all we've seen her do is One Night in Miami, which is a movie based on a play with basically one setting in one location, and now she's doing a comic book monster movie. So, yeah, I mean, she did really well in One Night in Miami, and I think it's interesting to see, you know, up and coming directors like her and directors like her that are making interesting choices, like going from something like that to something like this. You know, it reminds me sort of, not on the same level, but it kind of reminds me of like Chloe Zhao doing Nomadland and then doing Eternals, where it's like, oh wow, like I would not expect you to do something like that. But
I feel like this might be a little bit more like her vision, though. I think.
Yeah, definitely might be her vision, but definitely seems like just the atmosphere in Hollywood is a lot of directors are able to kind of play around in different sandboxes. So should be interesting.
It's open. Yeah. So Ryan Coogler, one of the producers,
there you go.
Set in 1924. They're saying it's kind of a Get Out meets Blade the Vampire Hunter.
That'd be awesome,
right? It's set in 1924 during Harlem Renaissance. Tells the tale of Sangrius, a family of once great monster hunters who face an evil that descends upon New York. It is an Eisner-nominated comic, very great, good comic book.
You know that Coogler's that Proximity Media.
Yeah, that's his studio.
They did a big deal with like Disney, right?
Oh.
Remember we talked about that?
Yeah, they
did.
did.
They were going to produce different things
right.
for Disney Plus and all their different. So you might see this on like Hulu or something. From
with
Disney.
Legendary producing. It's interesting. The Legendary picked this up.
I don't know. Maybe I remember that deal of mentioning Proximity Media and different things that they were going to do.
And again, the trend of people finding these comic book IPs left and right now and making the craziest things has become normal. So it's so great.
Hopefully it's better than Jupiter's Legacy, right?
Oh boy, yes. It can't be worse. Well, I guess it could.
It could be worse, right?
That one.
I watched 20 minutes of that.
Did you really?
Episode.
I finished it out. Well, I'll talk about it a little bit afterwards.
Okay.
It's a thing. I don't know how many people are watching.
Not many.
This next one is for Ruggs and myself and 80s kids who love Masters of the Universe and He-Man. Ruggs, remember they were making a reboot of Masters of the Universe? Again, it was supposed to come out this year or the next year.
Yeah, it was like a movie, yeah.
So Noah Centino was cast as Adam He-Man in this.
Terrible casting, yes.
Well, he is in the Black Adam movie, and he is no longer going to be He-Man.
Oh, shit.
Leaving me to think this movie probably is never going to get made.
Probably not.
And you know what? Maybe you don't need to do this in live action, because what we do have to get you excited for He-Man is a first look at Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe reboot for Netflix. He put out a bunch of stills of the characters. He's saying this show is set up as the next episode in the legacy of the 80s animated series. It's a continuation of that story. And from these stills and the shots, they look like awesome updated versions of the cartoon figures. I think this is going to be really fucking good.
Geek boner.
I love what I'm seeing already.
We really had this like in the 2000s. We had a great Masters of the Universe reboot.
Yes, that one's great. You can always go back and watch it.
And it was legit and it was like serious or whatever. I hope this is in the same vein, but it also feels like
he's got Orko in this one. Motherfucking Orko.
Yeah, it also feels like we've already been here, and I don't know. I'm not really that. I like what I see as far as the animation, and I like what the previous animation company has done, like Castlevania.
Yeah,
it's like super gory, but I don't think they're going to be doing it with this. I think they're just going to try and do some fan service, hopefully. And
well, it is Kevin Smith. He loves the fan service.
Yeah.
However,
I think that's
is Castlevania like that one is a little more adult, like a little more edgy blood, like
super edgy blood. All kinds of stuff.
So this is what I'm hoping. Kevin Smith, clearly, he's talked about he loves He-Man. He's like, our generation, he grew up with He-Man. He wants to make a show for kids that grew up with this He-Man and now kind of want an adult update of this thing. So I'm hoping it does have a little bit of edge and blood, and it is not really meant for kids, and it's meant for...
Well, there's a kid's version coming out.
Oh, already?
It's going to be 3D. And yeah, the designs look very strange.
Oh, is it like all sharp and stylized and angular and shit? Probably.
Yeah, it looks like Ben 10, and like he doesn't have like his bare chest anymore. He's like wearing like a cut off shirt. It's just weird. You could see it if you look it up. It's going to be on Netflix. It's called I think it's called Masters of the Universe or something. I don't know what it's called, but there is a second show coming out
also on Netflix. That's not confusing at all.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be. I'm excited for this. Whenever this comes out.
I like the character designs.
Yeah, the design looks great. I think the drawing looks great.
I mean, there was a shot that was on getting a lot of memes, which was all of Tila and her crew.
Yeah,
they're all jacked.
Yes,
and I'm like, okay, that we've seen this with the Amazons. We've seen this, but like it just was like.
I mean, He-Man is jacked, so why shouldn't everybody else be jacked? The Sorcerer is not jacked. This comes out July 20th.
Is Orko jacked in this?
Orko is not jacked, but he's a little scarier looking. He's not as cute. Looks more like the ears look more like an elf. July 23rd. This will be released. Masters of the Universe Revelation. Anthony, any comment at all? Do you care?
No, I really don't.
Yeah, I thought so.
We can move on.
I thought so. Let's move on. Before we do, listener, if you want a Jock and Nerd shirt like our buddy Joe Henry bought, and I saw him wearing it while he was fucking skateboarding.
Oh, shit.
It's fantastic, Joe.
Amazing.
Thank you. He's at the skate park wearing a Jock and Nerd podcast, and all the kids are going to see it t-shirt. So you can get your own. jockandnerd.com/shop. It's a TeePublic shop. I believe there's sales this week, next week, all the time. Just go there, check it out, get some t-shirts, put it on, take a picture, send it to us, and then we will geek boner. We will geek out over it. Okay, I've been dying to bring up this story with you guys, and I keep getting pushed off. Basically, Amazon bought the rights to Lord of the Rings for $250 million a few years ago, right? That was just the rights to make things. They have come out saying their first season, the budget of the first season of this Lord of the Rings show was about $465 million.
Oh, shit.
Okay, almost $500 million, one season of television. This makes it by far the most expensive TV show ever fucking made. This is almost 3, 4, 5 times where Game of Thrones ended when they were making their show, what their budget was. My first question, do you think they're going to use this much money is necessary, and will it be used properly? Anyone?
I mean, yes. Like,
okay.
They're going to make dragons and orcs and shit, I don't think they're going to do like a lot of the practical stuff. They're going to just use CG for everything, probably. So, who knows?
I mean, the cast has probably got to be huge.
Yeah. Location, sets, costuming, just craft services.
Anthony, we talked about Netflix paid the same amount of money, $500 million, for the option to make 2 Knives Out movies. Bezos doesn't pay taxes, so he has a lot of money to throw around. Is this a good investment?
Is it a good investment? I think every studio, every streaming service is looking for their next Trojan horse and their thing that's going to, they want buzz, right?
Yeah.
They want viewers, they want buzz, they want things that are going to permeate in the mainstream and get people talking and then get people subscribing. So, too soon to say. I mean, Lord of the Rings was super popular. The Hobbit wasn't as popular after.
Yeah.
It's been a good amount of time since we've seen some Lord of the Rings type stuff, so it's tough to say. I don't know. I mean, Game of Thrones was hugely popular, but Lord of the Rings isn't like, it's similar but very different in tone. So if it all depends on, you know, if it creates the buzz. $465 million though,
it's insane for one season. This has to be the biggest, most successful show ever to get that return. So in perspective, Peter Jackson spent around $280 million to make the original 3 movies. I mean, remember we talked about that first movie he made for under $100 million. This is wild.
Right.
It was crazy. Right. The Hobbit trilogy cost $623 million. The final season of HBO's Game of Thrones cost $15 million an episode. So that's like $90 million. So Game of Thrones spent $90 million for 6 episodes. Amazon's going to spend $465 million for probably 6 to 8 episodes. That's insane. It's so fucking shit.
It's the it's kind of the industry, the times we're in, where with these streaming services and
big event TV.
Event TV, yeah, it's huge. That's what they want. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good way to put it. Event TV. They want to create event TV.
Event TV, which is what Marvel is doing on Disney Plus, and they're doing
Marvel's
it well.
Doing it. Netflix just has so much that they've kind of been doing.
They create little pockets of event TV.
Yeah, you got to have to. The whole goal, it seems like, is to create buzz. You know, like to basically light up your screen or your map or your whatever, your radar, for like as long as possible with like a property, and then do it again, and then find something else, and then do it with that.
It's crazy because on one hand, you're spending all this money to create something that everyone's seen already, or a large portion of people that are at least our age have seen already, because they came out when we were like going to the movies a lot. So it's the originality isn't there. Like we already kind of know what's going to happen and we're just going to relive it. But for people who haven't seen it, this might be really interesting. It's just so crazy that they're spending so much money on something that's already come out and we already have seen before.
What is it supposed to be? Do we know? Like, is it like a prequel? Is it like a continuation? Is it a side story that happened in the midst of this?
Well, I heard they was going to do the Silmarillion. Is that something that Netflix that's doing that? Or is that...
This is it. This one is set in the Second Age of Middle Earth before the events of the Lord of the Rings novel. And
so
films.
this is the Silmarillion, not Lord of the Rings.
Right. I remember reading the story. It's about like the rings themselves and how Sauron gets the ring, I think, initially.
Okay, yeah. So that's going to be no one's has seen before. So that's what I was confused. I'm like, isn't there another one that's doing the prequel to this Lord of the Rings?
Thousands of years before The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings follows an ensemble cast of characters as they confront the reemergence of evil in Middle Earth.
Okay,
Second Age of Middle Earth. That's what we're doing. They're shooting in New Zealand. The cast is gigantic. So maybe this, Wiki says, expected to premiere in 2021, maybe late this year. I don't know.
This is kind of like a rise to power of an anti-hero that goes wrong. It could be a tragic story.
It better look fucking great for $465 million. That's for sure.
You bet it's going to be some crazy shit.
All right, we're going to take a break here. We are going to be reviewing a movie that is about nobody right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
What's up, guys? Gerald from Two Peas on a Podcast here. Are you just sitting there thinking to yourself, man, I really love some dude in his garage sitting around talking about arbitrary countdowns and his favorite things in the world of movies, music, and TV? Well, guess what? That's me. Please look me up. My name is Gerald, and I am from Two Peas on a Podcast. If you want to subscribe to my countdown show, I have a different co-host every week. It's often someone from the world of podcasting or entertainment, and we go through our top 5 favorite things in whatever that week's category is. You can find links to all of our content, subscribe via your favorite podcast app, and follow us on social media. The easiest thing to do is just head to our website, which is www.twopeasonapod.com. I hope you look me up and join the party. It's a lot of fun. See you soon.
What's up, Jock and Nerd Nation? This is Logan at Mostly Superheroes, a podcast that was partly inspired by the Jock and Nerd podcast. We talk about a lot of the same stuff, MCU, DC heavy, with other content that comes out of HBO Max, Amazon Prime, Netflix, and more. We're committing to doing something new every day in 2021, so come join the fun, check out the schedule. Find us at mostlysuperheroes.com and enjoy the rest of the show.
Jock and Nerd.
Listener, if you enjoy the show and you get a chuckle entertainment value, if we brighten up your week, if you look forward to the show every week, then I think you should join our Patreon fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon.
Jock and Nerd.
And you can support the show. Ensures we keep making the show for as little as $3 a month. You get access to an exclusive RSS podcast feed where there's bonus content, extra content. The shows come out early. There's a sports show, lots of fun stuff there. And we have tiers where you get different things based on the tiers. On the high end, you guys, $30 a month now. Patreon, they work this in. It's very easy to for me to fulfill it. $30 a month. After a few months, you get a free Jock and Nerd t-shirt.
Oh, shit.
And I don't even have to do anything. It does it automatically and ships it out. I fucking love it. Thank you, Patreon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's very nice. $10 a month gives you the power to pick any movie you want us to watch and review. You can force us to watch a classic or a piece of shit and sit through it and tell you what we thought. It's a lot of fun. We did a bunch of those and we're going to do one right now. So visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon today. This week's movie review is a Patreon sponsored movie from our awesome buddy, the best listener, best patron, Blake Braden.
Jock and Nerd.
Oh, really?
Yes, the movie, this is his second
What
pick.
makes him the best?
Because I don't know. I love Blake Braden.
I mean, he's a good guy.
He's a good guy. He has been a patron of ours for 39 months. That's over 3 fucking years.
Geek Boner.
Yeah.
Thank you, Blake Braden. That's why he's the best. His first movie pick was The Crow. We did that. His second pick here, which you get if you support us $10 a month over a year, you got one every year. Nobody from this year, 2021, the movie Nobody. Here are your spoilers.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
I'm excited because this is actually a new movie. Everyone told me you have to watch this. I was excited to see it. And now we have the perfect reason to watch it. This movie, after multiple delays, eventually released in theaters just this past March. And then you can rent it now. It came out in April on VOD. On Rotten Tomatoes, it is sitting at 82%. Not bad.
Oh, really?
A straight 7 out of 10 average rating. This movie was made for $16 million. Opening weekend, it makes about $6 million, but it has made $45 million worldwide, domestic and international. Not bad for the budget of $16 million, I would think. And now here's where things get fun, because this movie is directed by Ilya Naishuller, best known for directing Hardcore Henry.
You ever see that?
I have seen that.
It's a pretty interesting movie.
It is a very interesting movie. It is the movie told from a first-person point of view, like it's a video game. You're a video game character, except it's like 89 minutes of this, and by the end of it, it's a little hard because that's a long time.
Oh, yeah.
It's a long time to watch point of view anything, right?
Yeah.
But the action...
Porn, maybe, if it's 15 minutes.
Yes. It's just 15 minutes of point of view porn. The action, similar to Hardcore Henry. Written by Derek Kolstad.
Geek Boner.
The guy who wrote all 3 John Wicks. He's writing the next 2 John Wicks. He actually wrote 2 episodes of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He wrote on The Whole World Is Watching and the Power Broker episodes. I didn't know that. And then produced by David Leitch, who's also produced and directed John Wick and the Deadpools, and Tobey Maguire and Bob Odenkirk producing this movie. Bob Odenkirk, of course, starring lead as Hutch Manziel, the amazing Bob Odenkirk. And then you have Connie Nielsen as his wife, Christopher Lloyd as his father, Alexei Serebryakov as the Russian gangster Yulian Kuznetsov, bad guy, quick Michael Ironside cameo, and of course, the Woo, fucking RZA.
Oh, shit.
Reckon Next represent as his brother. And some other people. Anthony, what happens in Nobody?
Nobody is about this man who lives basically just your run-of-the-mill suburban dad, going through life, punching in, punching out, family, wife, seems pretty disinterested in the monotony of his life. happens to get robbed, and it jolts something in him that hasn't been awakened in a while, and he decides to eventually take up kind of correcting some wrongs in the streets. And there's a secret past to this man that we find out about, and by going out and getting on the streets and fighting people, basically he stirs up some trouble with some really bad people, and it just kind of escalates.
And he's
from there.
back in the game. Sounds like another movie.
Yeah, it
this
sounds
guy
like
wrote.
John Wick,
A little
maybe
bit.
the exact same movie.
Maybe some differences. I'm dying to know, Anthony. Let's start with you. What'd you think when you saw the end of Nobody?
You know, I mean, it's very similar to John Wick. It's similar to like a Taken or like Death Wish, and there's like a bunch of movies where it's like a normal guy gets looped into something, and you find out that he's not a normal guy, or he's like, or more like, or something like a revenge story, and it's just like a guy mowing down people and just being badass, but like also like not looking like Arnold, sort of thing.
Yeah, with dad bod kind of.
Like that new Rambo movie that came out.
Right. So
they fuck with the wrong guy.
So Nobody. I liked it. I thought it was
nice.
I didn't even know this movie came out this year.
Yeah.
I had no idea really what to expect. I like the play of the fact that it's Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah.
He just looks he just looks like such a normal dude. So there's the kind of the twist on that. Like, he just doesn't look like he would be this guy, and then he's just almost kind of a psychopath on his own. At the end of the day, you want to see him like beat up bad guys, it's brutal. You want to see him mow down people, and it provides all that. And I think it's like a little bit stylish in the way it does it.
Yep.
Music, the way it's cut, and you have some nice cameos and surprises. So overall, I thought it was a very enjoyable flick for what it's going for.
Solid. Rugs, opening thoughts.
Okay, this movie was made for what, 13 million?
16 million, yes.
16 million. I mean, it's fucking, for that money, it's fucking a lot of fun.
Yes, it is.
This just proves that you can really take anybody and make them John Wick. Like, you can take, they can take me and make me John Wick.
Absolutely. That's blueprint is
the better
there.
comparison would be they could take Imran and make
I want to see that movie. I want to see like
Rugs,
Imran.
Rugs, you don't remember the student film we did where I had this blue jacket and I was this assassin with two guns, and I remember that. That was me. That was my John Wick moment in college. I had
Didn't you get killed in that movie?
I did. I was chasing the female assassin, and she kills me, and I fall down the stairs and die. But
like the Joker, yeah.
I fell down the stairwell, and there was like a whole trick shot, and I was on the ground.
Did you throw yourself down the stairwell?
No, it's called movie making.
He was not naked in this.
I know. I had my clothes on also, but I got to play like a badass for like one quick second. It was fucking fun.
If anybody ever asked Imran to be in the college film, the first thing he's like, "Should I be naked?
You want my clothes on? On or off?"
Not even. Do I have? It's like, should I? Like, I should.
I asked that to people who didn't want me in movies. I just asked that walking around. Y'all be naked?
Oh man,
y'all be naked?
I still would love to see to this level, Imran. If anybody's listening who has the power to make this happen, it has to happen. This is the role that you were born to play. Is this role?
Make me Nobody in the sequel?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I could be
an even bigger Nobody in the movie.
Bigger Nobody. It's called No One. Nobody 2. No One.
Oh my god. But like, it's just fun to see that he committed himself to like, learning the choreography and making it happen. I think it took him 2 years.
He trained 2 years for this movie. That's amazing.
Shit.
And you see it.
And it was enjoyable. Look, better than Bob. I like the fucking Russian guy. That guy was fucking crazy.
You actually like the bad guy. He was crazy.
For a second, I wish it was Dolph Lundgren, but like,
oh yeah, almost.
That would be just even better.
Yeah.
But this guy was great because he was like, kind of had a gut. He was
he liked to sing. He loved Sinatra, and he liked to sing Sinatra
old
songs.
And weird.
Yeah,
but he was just so like just ruthless.
But then he'll stab that dude in the eye with the fucking broken glass.
I was more intimidated by this guy than the bad guy in John Wick. The first one.
Wow.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and Anthony,
I don't even remember the bad guy in John Wick. So
it was just another. Yeah, it was another Russian guy.
They love mowing down Russians.
They do love shooting all the Russians. So I fucking love this movie. There's so many things I watched it twice. And because the action scenes were great, and watching it twice, you do get a little bit of different headspace once you figure out what's going on. But this is like a baby brother to John Wick meets a little bit of Quentin Tarantino meets like Home Alone meets Die Hard. Like you mentioned Taken, Anthony. This is better than Taken in the sense that it knows not to take itself that seriously.
Well, Taken has so many quick cuts, you can't even watch
Taken has
the movie.
the worst choreography, the worst stunts, the worst cuts, editing. This fucking movie, the action scenes are amazing. Everything is grounded. You could see every move. You can follow it. And you could see he did a lot of his stunts. The bus scene we're going to talk about is fucking phenomenal. The car chase scene, it has it's got great shootouts, hand-to-hand combat. Great car chase scene. It's got everything. And you can follow it. And it is stylistic. And
$16 million.
$16 million. And I was surprised that Bob Odenkirk, who comes from sketch comedy, he used to write on The Simpsons and Saturday Night Live. He fucking sells it as this badass guy who, when you watch it a second time and you watch that efficient setup in the beginning where they're showing you his routine Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. First of all, how efficient is that to show you the mundane reality? But then you think about this guy chose this. This is what he wanted, and he's kind of getting tired of it a little bit, but this is the life he wanted. And then he just gets pulled back and breaks a seal. Again, like you said, great music. It's only 90 minutes. It's amazingly paced. Yeah, I don't think it drags anywhere. It's not overly complicated.
It's one of those movies that where you watch it and you're watching like the violence. And I know, like, it's a brutal, like, the choreography is good. If I audibly go,
like, oh, yeah, I was like, oh, fuck. I said,
there were a few moments where knees were snapping or like, stuff was going into necks or eyes. And I was just going, oh, my God. Fuck. Yeah. This is brutal.
Yeah, I went, oof.
I like the moment. One of the moments that I like the most is that there's a guy with a car on his body that's about to die.
Yes.
And that's the guy who Bob Odenkirk confides in about who he used to be.
There's a black Russian.
Yeah.
The one moment that made me like kind of cover up was when he puts the stent in the guy's neck. I'm like,
okay. Can we talk about the bus scene? Fucking phenomenal. He's frustrated. His house has just been broken in. He goes, and then you find out he noticed that the gun wasn't loaded, which is why he didn't fucking take the swing.
Well, he knew the whole time that those people were desperate. Like the gun wasn't loaded.
She was shaking. They were scared.
They were nervous about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's very confident. So then,
and he didn't want to. There's a level of it. Like he didn't want. He knows what he could be.
Yes.
And he didn't want to do that with them.
Yes,
yeah, he didn't want to break the seal.
He didn't want to break that seal, and he tried not to until the fucking kitty bracelet. And then it's great because he finds them, and he realizes they have a baby, and he can't do anything, and he needs to get his frustration out. Enter the Russians and the bus. My favorite moment in this movie is right when it's all slow-mo and he walks back and he takes the bus lady out and he comes back on the bus and just empties the revolver, lets the bullets drop, and then just goes, I am going to fuck you up. I was like, oh my God, that's so badass.
That's a great one. But right before when he's sitting there and he sees them like walking and
he's
he goes,
like, please let them open the door.
Well, he goes something along the lines of like, whenever like God, when one door closes, another one opens. Yeah. God gives you another one. And he goes, please open the fucking door.
Please open the fucking door. And then you see this efficient, methodical fight scene, and he's getting hit. He's not the best. And in fact, the more he gets punched, the more he kind of wakes him up. He like kind of enjoys it. I love it. He gets thrown out of the fucking bus, comes back on, takes him out, and then trakes the guy with a fucking straw to the throat. Amazing. I love that scene. I watched it over and over again.
I feel like it reminded me of the Dark Knight Returns, like when Bruce goes out for the first time and he gets a little taste and he's like, he's back. He's baptized with his own blood.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and he's fighting the mutants.
Yeah.
And he's alive now.
Very similar.
Oh, yeah, he's alive. And the funny thing is, all of this really, Hutch provoked this. Like, he fucked up the dude's brother just for no reason, just because.
Yeah, He started all of this.
Yeah, he started the whole thing. It's all his fault. Really? But he was, I guess you could say he wanted to save the girl. Remember, there's a girl on the bus.
That was just an excuse.
That was an excuse
he
to
was
fuck him up. Yeah, he wanted to fuck. And then we meet Yuri, the bad guy. You've talked about, he's pretty good. You have the Obshak. And then you have a lot of things that are like John Wick. Like the Obshak's very John Wick. The barber is like the concierge or the Continental, that he goes to visit. The second home invasion's great. You see, he's got a panic room and he's thought about this and he's got everything prepared. And I love, again, snaps the fucking bat in half on his knee and just impales the dude. Are you
Oh,
kidding me?
shit.
Fuck, this guy's badass.
Well, the best, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, he just is so unassuming. And then you just have, it's like the dichotomy of this dad bod suburban dude just kicking everyone's ass. And
You don't expect
it's like somewhat new element to it because even like Keanu Reeves is still Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
But Bob Odenkirk is not Keanu
Yes,
Reeves.
I think that's the one thing that sets this apart is you have Bob Odenkirk, and a little bit different from John Wick. They spend more time getting to know Bob Odenkirk. You know, you really kind of do feel for him and connect with him. Whereas with John Wick, it just fucking starts. You don't really know anything about John Wick or his backstory at all. You're just along for the ride. They spent a little more time setting up his family, what was going on, and tricking you into thinking he was a normal dude. And then you find out, his half brother, Harry, Rizza, and then Christopher Lloyd just having a ball in this, clearly having fun, blowing everyone
So
away.
can we talk about this? So are they a family of people who are auditors, or is like the wife's in on this too?
I
No,
think
she doesn't know.
No, she knows.
Remember, he said, when he sent her away, he's like, I need you to.
No, she knows.
You think she knows?
She like
oh, yeah,
patches
she patched
him up.
That's right.
Everyone know, like, I think the dad was an auditor. He becomes an auditor. RZA is like kind of like his brother, sort of.
Half, yeah.
Connie Nielsen's character definitely knows.
She did know because she patched him up. That's right. When he came back home.
I was half expecting her to grab a gun and start kicking
That
some
would
ass.
have been amazing.
'Cause that's Wonder Woman's mom,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh, yeah.
So
I mean, I love Christopher Lloyd. The Christopher Lloyd scenes is great. And he's
the one where he
killing everyone.
was sleeping
Yeah,
and then he
they walk up.
shotguns the guy
Yeah.
and then the senior home like attendant comes in and he's just like holding the guy's mouth. He's like, keep it down in here. He's like got the war movie up. Like they add that element of comedy to this too, like dark comedy.
And it has a bunch of contrived, unbelievable things. You have to suspend your disbelief, but it works. You
By
just
the
go with
end,
it.
I mean, there's no way those three men are mowing down all these Russians
Yeah.
like that in the open. Like they're not even hiding.
No, and some
Russians are just running in to get shot.
Yes, they're getting mowed down, and he Home Alone rigs the fucking construction site is fantastic. It gets a little bit indulgent with the slow mo. You know, it gets dips in a little bit like Zack Snyder, but I don't think he uses that too much. The hardcore Henry guy, I love the POV gun camera where he throws the gun, and it's the POV of the camera as it's turning and he catches it. Like I love that shit, but
You know what it
only
kinda
do it
reminded
once
me?
in a while. Yeah.
I forget which Kingsman it was, but there was a Kingsman
yes,
scene where they were mowing
yes.
down people like that.
It
too.
was the first one in the church
Yeah.
scene where he kills everyone. I love that he burned down the op shack and the little details of like putting the gasoline in the sprinklers. And then he just shows up eating steak in front of him. Fucking
yeah, that was great.
fucking fantastic.
Fucking fantastic.
Just don't think about it because you're like, this is the most wanted guy by
Yes,
this Russian, and
everybody.
he just happens to
Just
not
sitting
only
there.
sit down but have a waiter or
Bring
waitress
him
serve him a
food.
steak.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the car chase scene also was good. Like it made sense. It wasn't unbelievable, but it was very stylized and contrived, and you could follow it. And so a couple other great things in the end battle when fucking Harry shoots three guys with the one bullet. That's fucking
That was awesome, yeah.
fantastic and unbelievable. And then how he finally gets Yuri by running at him with a mine and a fucking body shield. Like that's a fucking last Hail Mary call. And
Would that even work?
I don't know, but how they shot it was great. You saw both of them flying back. Oh, my other favorite line where he gets there and he goes to his dad, you brought a lot of shotguns. And Christopher Lloyd's like, well, you brought a lot of Russians. And it's just fucking, and then he saves the cat, and his daughter wanted a kitty. Remember in the beginning? She's like,
Yeah.
you should get a kitty. And
Well, that cat was up in the ceiling. in the beginning. Remember?
That was the cat. Oh my God. All of this actually ties together. That was the cat that she was trying to find in the fucking ceiling.
Yeah.
I never imagined I'd see Doc Brown just mowing down
Right?
Russians.
With two guns, just shooting Russians. Fucking badass.
When's the last time that guy was in a movie that was anything?
He was in Things to Do in Denver When You're
That's
Dead.
a while.
I think he
Christopher
shot
Lloyd.
somebody in that. Yeah.
He was doing TV for a while too. I don't know. He's looking old though.
Bulk drinks.
He's 82 right now. Old
Wow.
Christopher Lloyd, and this is the
Hey, go out in a blaze of glory. That's
He's
what
still-
I
I
said.
mean, this movie is it knows exactly what it wants to
Yep,
be,
yep.
and it's super well executed in the genre that we've seen a lot of times. But
Yeah.
it's has a couple twists on the genre, and what you want to see is this guy kick some ass and it be well choreographed, and they do it.
I mean,
that's really all you need.
I don't think it does a lot new, but it does it really well and confidently and with style, which is like what I love.
The one thing that I was kind of like gave me a sense of fear was that his family was like in the crosshairs at some point, but then they kind of get rid of that real quickly, like just go away, and then we don't have to worry about you anymore.
Yeah, they do take out some of the stakes by having the family leave, and it's just like, okay, now this movie, like at the end of the day, you want him to win, but if he dies, he dies, right? Like it's like Drago would say,
right?
So by the end, it's just like, how many Russians can you kill?
It does lessen it a little bit where there aren't the stakes of the family getting killed. I thought he wasn't going to go back to them, but he's still there, and they need a house with a basement or something. But yeah, so maybe John Wick has a more immediate stakes. They have a dog that gets killed. I don't know. Well, there's dogs.
Well, now the question is like, what happens next?
Yes.
Does he go back to his family?
So
What's
he does
going
go
on?
back. They're looking for a house. Also, who called him? Did the government call and free him? Is that how much power he has? Remember at the end when they're like, who the fuck are you? And then they get a call and he's free. And mid-credit scene. Did you catch this, Anthony? Did you see there was a mid-credit scene?
You know what? I missed it. And then I read about it after.
Yeah, Ruggs missed it too. Basically, it cuts to Harry and Christopher Lloyd, the dad, and they're in an RV and they're driving out on the road and it pulls back and there's just a shitload of guns in their fucking RV. So
shit.
They're back into, I guess. Everyone's been unleashed. But like you said, I want to know Hutch's past. I want to know some more stories about him being an auditor. You know, I love the story about he let the one guy leave and then saw that the guy had a normal life and then he's like, that's what I want. And he goes and does that. But, and then the playing card tattoo. That was an interesting moment. Remember that moment?
Yeah, they see that and they all just run away.
The dude sees that and he's like, thank you for your service. And he goes behind a door and locks 7 locks and then peeks out.
So what's that tattoo mean, you think?
So what I can gather, it's an offsuit. It's a 7-2 offsuit hand. This is the worst hand in Texas Hold'em. It's called the Hammer. So I think there's multiple meanings. Like he's the hammer. Also, you never want to see these cards in Texas Hold'em. And he mentions you'd never want to see him. If he shows up, you fucked up and it's the last thing you're going to see. But other than that, that's all I could come up with those playing cards.
I like that. The hammer.
This whole movie also, I found out, this is Bob Odenkirk's idea. According to a Vulture article, Odenkirk imagined a wish fulfillment fantasy revenge scenario after being victimized by home burglary twice in his life. He was burglarized twice. In one time, he actually locked the burglars in the basement until the police arrived. So maybe Odenkirk is a little bit of a badass, after all, in real life.
That's cool.
Right? This is his idea. Do we want this to cross over with John Wick? There was talk of that.
I mean, it can be fun, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like super necessary, but
kind of the same guy a little bit, but
yeah, I don't know if enough people will like it. It depends on how many people are fans of Nobody.
Right. I think it's gaining a cult following. I would love to see more. They kind of left it open for sequels and the next thing. Because the Russian dude's fucked. He's lost everybody's money. Oh, he's dead also. Oh, that's all done.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's done. The money's
finished.
Object's finished and he's dead. You could franchise this. I think it would work.
They definitely can make more.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you definitely could do. I mean, John Wick is this.
Yeah.
Is literally right there.
They're milking.
But
they're
like
making
the
5
crux
of
of the movie is him coming to the realization that he wants to do this again. So,
or maybe every time he's trying to hide in a new community and then something happens, pulls him out.
Like he's like David Banner in the Hulk
just
series.
On.
He has to Hulk out at some point.
And then he gets, and then his cover gets blown.
They just need that nice music when he's thumbing a ride to the next town.
I like the music choices. I thought the songs they use, like when they use Heartbreaker and the Nina Simone song, I thought it all worked. It wasn't too much. Could have been. All right. Anything else before we rate this movie?
I think we should just rate this fucking thing.
Yeah. It's one of those movies, as we talked about, that it's well executed, but there isn't. Like it is what it is. There's not like a ton of like dissection you can do in
it's
terms
pretty
of like
straightforward.
plot or yeah. Technically, it's very well made.
What number would you give it, Anthony?
8 out of 10.
Oh fuck yeah! That's what I'm gonna give it an 8 too. I fucking love this movie.
I fucking loved it.
And
I think we're gonna have a 3-way tie for the first time.
Oh,
If
shit.
I also give it an 8.
solid pick by Blake Braden, and I want to thank him for picking like a newer movie because that's great and it's something I wanted to watch. So
You have to acknowledge the fact this is a low budget film, that the person who wanted to make this movie, which is Bob Odenkirk,
yeah,
like he worked at it and got the right director, the right people to make this movie, and it all worked out. It worked out. It shouldn't have worked out, but it
should
did.
have, yeah.
So
Yeah, very enjoyable.
now I'm waiting for the Imran version of this
Yes,
movie,
in the
guys.
sequel.
So make it.
Add me
Yeah.
in the sequel. If I have to recommend one thing,
Him nobody.
Him Nobody. It's gonna call called Him Nobody.
I'm nobody.
Nobody too. I'm Nobody. I'm an even bigger nobody. Coming soon. I have to recommend one thing. Bob Odenkirk, David Cross, back in the mid to late 90s, did for HBO was probably the fucking funniest sketch comedy show I have ever seen in my life. It is called A Mr. Show. There's 4 seasons out there. I don't know where you can stream it. I have them on DVD, and it's just the fucking funniest show.
The only thing I remember from that is Andy Dick.
Andy Dick is
being
on there. Young Jack
hilarious.
Black is on there.
Yes. And Homo sapiens are number 1. That's all I remember.
There's some great sketches.
Yeah.
But for him to come from that to this and sell it the way he did, I was really skeptical that Bob Odenkirk was going to be able to sell this, but I bought it. He did it. He fucking pulled it off. Good for you.
Yeah. Check it out if you can. It's still not out on anything other than you have to pay per view, right?
Yeah. It might be still in theaters or you rent it. And there you go. All right. Let's do some news from the nation.
It's time for news from the nation.
It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Well, this is where I was going to ask Anthony what he thought about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We already heard that.
Knock that one out.
Knock that shit out. We have a couple of comments from people regarding the review and the Turtles. John Campbell posted, anyone following the new TMNT comic run, The Last Ronin, it's really dark and intriguing. This thing just came out and it does actually look really cool. It's actually, I thought Eastman and Laird were done with the Turtles. This is actually from Eastman and Laird themselves, and it's like in the near post-apocalyptic future, and there's one lone surviving turtle going on a mission to get justice for his fallen family, and the art looks kind of cool in the Amazon preview, and I'm kind of excited. I might have to check this out. Ruggs, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I did not read it. I do not know anything about it. So I am now tuned into this and I'm going to check it out. So I'll let you know after I check it out.
I think it's a 5-issue series, and I think it just came out. Anthony, would you check something like this?
What are we talking about?
Moving on to the next thing. David Zika also always great with reference links. He should really be our researcher and do these notes for me because he finds great shit. I mentioned all the knockoff things that came out, in the late 80s when the Turtles started. There was one, I didn't get the name. He posted the wiki too. It was the adolescent radioactive black belt hamsters.
Oh, shit.
So,
oh shit.
Yeah, you see the trend here. It's the ARBBH is not as fun as TMNT to say. And that was by Eclipse and then Dynamite. So this is a parody of a parody of parody, right? And then there was one. This one is a lot of fun to say. Preteen Dirty Jean Kung Fu Kangaroos.
That's just
This is
terrible.
This is what people were doing back when this got popular. And then a couple other spin-offs you may have heard of, knockoffs of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that I remember. There was cartoons, there was Extreme Dinosaurs, Road Rovers, Biker Mice from Mars. There was something called Avenger Penguins, Wild West Cowboys of Moo Mesa. This is cows that are sheriffs that are riding horses.
Oh, shit.
The cows are riding horses. Battletoads. Remember Battletoads?
Battletoads, obviously. That was a big video game one.
That might have been the biggest, most successful knockoff. Samurai Pizza Cats.
Yeah, I talked about that last
Street
week.
Sharks were great. Do you remember Street Sharks, Anthony, at all?
I remember Street SWAT Cats. I don't think that was that's
No,
more
I
like
don't remember any
Batman.
of this stuff.
Cyborgs.
What is this? I don't remember any of this.
These are all forgotten knockoff cartoons that actually existed. Bucky O'Hare and the Toad Wars.
That was the one I was
yeah.
trying to think of last week. I was like, there's a rabbit one. I can't remember. It's not
Bucky
Usagi
O'Hare.
Yojimbo.
That was Bucky O'Hare. So,
Yeah,
these
right.
are all actual things that actually, tried to capitalize on the Turtles.
It was a fad.
Yeah.
It was a fad. Like, just genres, like mutants, animals, anthropomorphic things that have like certain skills.
No one can beat the original, though.
And they eat pizza or whatever. They eat. There's some kind of
Some fast food involved. They all have, different colored things.
burger bunnies.
Yeah, they're all different personalities.
Badass burger bunnies. I don't know.
Badass burger bunnies. All right. Anyways, that's fun to go back to. Let's finish up with some what are we watching? So, Ruggs, I finished Jupiter's Legacy.
Yes.
The last 2 episodes. And to my surprise, the show finally got interesting in like the last episode and a half.
Oh,
I was like, oh, shit. Now, okay. Fuck, why didn't you do this earlier? Why were you waiting so long?
Can I ask you the question that which bugged me the whole time?
Yeah.
Like,
Spoilers.
number one, spoiler alert. Why does he do this this whole fight in the mind that didn't need to happen? Is this just for Lady Liberty to catch a glimpse
because
of?
that was all a setup with what's his name? Yeah. What's his name?
He was trying to Sky Fox. He's trying to set him.
He's trying to pin it on Sky Fox and fakes this whole
Like
thing.
Anthony, there's this fight that happens that doesn't really happen. Like that he kind of creates this like fake fight, and
in a mind
it's like
space.
and no one can see it except for him.
What the fuck?
And then
Yeah, so-
eventually Lady Liberty goes in, but the reveal.
Like he had to know that she was going to do that.
Did you watch any of this, Anthony?
I only watched the first.
He said 20 minutes. Yeah.
Not that I didn't stop for any reason other than the fact that I just was tired.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't really get a feel for the show in 20 minutes. It seemed okay, but from what you guys said, it wasn't good, and that they changed a lot and they draw out stuff. So I don't know if I'll ever watch this because if you guys are saying it's bad, why the fuck would I think?
It's
good?
funny.
Imran likes anything,
But
and he said it's bad.
and where it ended, now I'm like, oh fuck, now I want to see what happens. But the ending kind of is, you're right, Ruggs. It doesn't make sense why the guy does what he does for the big fucking reveal.
And they don't do that in the comics, really.
Wow. Okay.
So
okay.
It's not necessary.
It just misses what it's trying to be about, what it was supposed to do, which was like get you connected to the kids. It doesn't do. It's very weird and uneven. It's half a period piece, which isn't a bad thing. The period stuff was good. I don't know.
The reason why it frustrated me more than a lot of people, I think people who didn't read the comics are just bored by it because it takes so long. It's drawn out. People who read the comics know what's going to happen and know that all this shit, a lot of it isn't important. So we're like, why are we still here in the story? So I think that's the 2 reasons why people don't like it. One, if you not familiar with it, it's just not as fast paced or as engaging as the stuff that we've come to see. And the people who've read it are like, this is moving. We're like hung up on this one spot here. We need to progress to get to the meat of the story.
I've seen some positive comments from, I am assuming people who had never read the book or didn't know anything about it. And they were like, well, it wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. So I don't know. We said it in the last week, Anthony. We've seen everything they do.
It's getting mixed reviews.
But we've seen everything they do so much better just recently in everything, in Invincible, The Boys, everything we watched.
When you guys talked about it, the one question I had is, if this is getting mixed reviews, what does that mean for the Millar world on Netflix? That's not a great start, right?
If they were doing his comic the way it's supposed to be done, then I would worry because they're like, okay, nobody likes it. But they did his comic, even though he was involved, I guess.
Yeah.
But they kind of made it less impactful and not as good as the comic. So, I don't know if that's Miller or if that's
Stephen S. DeKnight.
Well, the thing is though, it's like we were just talking about that you need shows that create buzz.
Yeah.
I really haven't heard any buzz about Jupiter's Legacy yet, but then I'm not dialed into Twitter.
No,
or anything like that.
there's not much buzz there.
But the thing that I noticed is like right off the bat, like, you know, you want to create buzz with these shows, but they start off, the opening graphic is like Millar World. Like they definitely want to build this as a brand. And I mean, this isn't the best start for a brand that's like a burgeoning brand that they've just spent a lot of money on to like eventually, like I'm sure they want it to be like when you associate Millar World with TV content, eventually they want it to be like a Marvel or a Pixar or something like that.
The thing with Miller, like all of his, besides Kick-Ass, the first movie, right, which is probably the best one of all of his, and Kingsman, the first movie, all of his other movies are not that closely adapted. Like everything that they've done with his other stuff has always been like kind of a few shades away from what he actually did. Wanted wasn't anything like the comic, besides just the plot. And then what's the other big one that they just did that didn't do well? Kingsman, they did Kick-Ass. The second Kick-Ass wasn't that good.
Yeah, right,
No.
right.
And there's something else I'm forgetting.
These are all Miller books, right?
Yeah.
Are they technically Millar World?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They haven't really stuck to his stuff, and they should. And I think that's what the crime is, that they're not sticking to what he does. And even though he's involved, like, I don't know how he's letting this happen. It's like,
I think basically, first of all, it's Netflix. They bought all his shit. He has a lot of shit. So I think they don't really care if it's going to be good, and they're just going to move on to the next one. They're like, okay, let's just make the next thing and see what sticks. It might be part of just throwing shit at the wall at this point.
I also think they shouldn't have done this first.
I don't think I agree with that. I thought this is a weird choice for them to start with when they have.
Like, they should have started with. They have Starlight and Empress, which are two, and they have this other one, Huck.
Huck is good. Chronauts, I really like Chronauts. You could do a
Chrononauts,
great,
yes,
Chrononauts.
yes.
You could do a great series.
Super
with that.
Crooks is great, but they shouldn't have done this because it's so close
Super
to every.
Crooks is great. Yes,
it's so close. Super Crooks would have been fucking amazing.
That's a good
if they
one.
would have done
I actually read that one. Yeah, Superior. He's got a lot of things, so they just might be like, let's move on to the next thing.
This is so close to the stuff to Invincible and The Boys. It's too close.
Maybe that's why they picked it, because they're like,
and Watchmen. They're all of these kind of deconstruction of heroes and all that stuff and the legacy of what it means. So it's too close. It's going to get comparisons. You should have waited till like the Shine and people have started missing shows like that.
Especially
and then
right
come
after
out with
Invincible. That was bad timing. It's bad timing because Invincible nailed it.
Yeah.
Not only Invincible, but just like the run of comic book properties that were doing well on streaming.
Umbrella Academy, The Boys, Invincible, Titan, all the DC stuff, Doom Patrol. It was just hitting it. They're all very good. That Netflix series Love, Death, and Robots I mentioned was coming out last week. I watched season 2.
The whole thing?
Well, the episodes are short. The longest are 18 minutes, and the shortest is 7 minutes. So some are 7, some are 11, some are 13.
But you watch the whole season?
Yeah, very easy to fly through. It's very good. Anthony, you heard about this, right?
What's that?
Love, Death, and Robots. The CG.
I haven't watched it. I remember you guys hyping it up, and there was one time where I downloaded all the episodes and was going to watch it on a plane.
Oh, that's right. You didn't do it. So they put out another set of episodes for season 2, and there's some great stories, great animation. I'll say there's a few of these where the animation is so fucking good that I forgot I was not watching a live action thing. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
There's one that's like, oh my God, I forgot this is animated. This thing looks amazing. And as far as topics, is
that the one with the albino guy?
Yes, it's the one with Snow. The episode Snow in the Desert. And then there's a couple. There's a couple, actually. There's another one later. There's one with fucking Michael B. Jordan in it.
Oh, shit.
A CG Michael B. Jordan. It's very realistic. That's the last one. So some of these concepts are great. Some of them are lighthearted. I
watched 3 of them.
Oh, which one did you watch?
I watched the one with the albino.
That one is a fucking.
I watched the one with the population control.
That one's good too.
And I watched the one with the brothers that are looking at the whales.
Oh yeah, that one's cool too. So some of them. One is like, what if your Roomba decided to kill you? Lighthearted stuff like that. But Anthony. There's 2 amazing concepts. The one with population control. What would you do in the near future children are illegal. You have to. You can't have unregistered children, right? So, but if you agree to not have children, the government will give you a series of shots that enable you to live forever.
Oh, shit.
So you can't reproduce, but you get to live forever. Kind of controlling the population. I thought it was a fucking fascinating concept, explored well in this one short. What would you do?
Yeah.
Would you take it?
Ask me that question again.
Would you give up reproducing to live forever?
Oh, man.
Right? That's a crazy good thing to think about.
Would I give up reproducing to live forever?
Yeah.
Do I want to live forever?
That's the thing. Would you? So, at what point will you live forever and be like, I picked the
would
wrong
say no.
thing? Yeah, maybe.
I would
not.
rather not live forever.
Because that. But if everyone is living forever with you, if they all are on
What
board
if you
with
could
this,
just take it for a spin for a while?
well,
and then when
but
you
then
get
have
sick
to-
of it,
then you have to break the law and eventually have a kid and break the law. Or something.
yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
I probably would do. I don't want to just do one or the other. I always break the rules, man.
That
I
one,
do.
And then the one with the albino snow in the desert rugs. That one, I want to see a fucking TV series about this whole world.
yeah.
This guy's
That's
life.
one of the thing. That's one of the things that fucking sucks about this. I'm like, oh, we're up and running and it's over.
It was
Oh,
so
fuck! I want to
good.
see more.
I want to see I want to see movies. I want to learn more about snow and the synthetic broad. It was fucking great.
Is it me where the last one had tits in it and this didn't?
One of them had maybe you're right. I don't know.
This one didn't have boobs. The last one was full of boobs. So I guess they changed their tune.
This
after
one doesn't
the
have
first one.
boobs. It's all in shadow. Then
And it's not as gory as the other ones was
no,
too.
well, I thought Snow was pretty violent, and the Snow one was violent.
a
lot of
little
people
bit,
got killed, and the Michael B. Jordan one's great. There's one beautiful one where just a giant body washes up on shore. It's dead. He's like a 200-foot giant, naked, and they show like a giant penis in that one.
Oh,
So yeah,
I can't wait to watch that.
that was great.
It's the world's biggest dick.
Overall, I enjoyed. Oh, and then there is a Christmas one that gives new meaning to where do toys come from in Christmas, and it's fucking like nightmarish. It's amazing. It's a twist on Santa Claus.
Oh, okay.
It's the shortest one, but you're like, oh shit, those kids are fucked up now. So overall, great season. I liked all of them. They were very good.
Yeah, I enjoyed whatever I saw, and I'm gonna watch the rest tonight. So,
Anthony, you watch anything this week with your eyes shut?
I couldn't watch too much.
That's a good point.
I've been getting back into TV. You know, for some reason, I don't know why, but I thought Army of the Dead came out already.
It came
I saw
out in the
reviews pumping
theater
out.
this week, and it's coming out May 21st. That's the next thing we will review next week.
I was going to try to watch it, and then I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? I was like telling my friends that it came out, and they're like, dude, how do you review movies like as your like thing, and you don't even know when the movie's come out?
That's because
You're telling us it's out, and it's not.
It's in the theater.
Like, oh,
The
right.
reviews have not been the best. I don't know. Have you seen it?
I've seen it's like a 6, 7 out of 10 from like the consensus.
All right.
But I think it's a 2.5 hour movie,
fuck.
which is
shit.
Fucking
that's, I
Snyder.
because I was going to watch it late at night, even though I don't actually have access to it. I thought it was on Netflix, and I was going to watch it thinking like this is like an hour and a half movie.
It should be.
Yeah, and I Googled it 2.5 hours.
Well, it's less
So-
than 4 hours, so that's a bonus. It's a start, Zack Snyder. What the fuck? No, a zombie.
Jesus Christ. Do you need a 2.5 hour zombie movie?
Look at what they did in 90 minutes with nobody.
Cut something.
Holy shit. How efficient pacing in 90 minutes you could get in nobody. A zombie movie about a Las Vegas casino heist does not need to be 2.5 fucking
leave
hours.
people wanting more.
What the fuck?
2 hour 28 for Army of the Dead.
Whoa. So 24 minutes of slow motion in this one too, Zack Snyder? Is that what we're doing?
You know, everyone talks. I
10%?
actually haven't seen. I think I've seen. Was it Dawn of the Dead? He did.
Yes.
I don't remember. But everyone talks about how good he is with zombie movies.
Dawn of the Dead was good. That's the only one he's done.
Well, it came out at a time where there was not like this level of filmmaking being as common,
Right,
You know,
right.
so
Right.
it stood out. You know, in a Dawn of the Dead movie of all, like a zombie movie, like you know, zombie movies are not the best made films. Usually, they're schlock. So the fact that there is a zombie movie that comes out with a little bit of an action vibe to it
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
I think this movie needs to do good because I think Netflix may be the new home for Zack Snyder because there were some articles coming out where he said even on the Snyder cut, Warner Brothers was torturing me, and he's talked about how amazing it was working for Netflix. They didn't fuck with him, but that's Warner Brothers. Like they fuck with everybody. Clearly, we hear the stories over and over again. But even on his own 4-hour thing where I thought they stepped out of the way so he could make this, he goes, they're still torturing me. So I don't know. But I think with Netflix, just like Millar World, they'll let him make whatever the fuck he wants. They'll be like, here's a bag of money, Zach. Have fun. We don't care. It's Netflix. We just need shit to throw up there. Yeah. That's my hot take.
Well, yeah, Netflix needs, it has plenty of content. They just need they need to up their subscription level. So they just need to find something shiny for people to come and get. Maybe the Snyder Bros will help Netflix out. Really quick. I've been watching Godzilla Singular Point.
Oh yeah. On the Netflix.
The anime. I use a VPN so I can see what Japanese Netflix has.
Oh.
And I could actually watch, and they just, for some reason out of nowhere, they just started putting English subtitles on it so I could finally understand it.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So if anybody's interested in doing that, do it.
That's just the movie, right? It's the one movie?
No, it's like a new anime. It's a new anime series.
In the US Netflix?
Not yet. It's coming out like in June, so it's coming out soon. But like it's already almost done in Japan.
VPN is the way to do it.
All I can tell you is you need a fucking physics degree because the amount of sheer technobabble that's being fucking spouted out in this show is completely unfathomable.
They love the technobabble.
It's they're like talking about artifacts and archetypes, and I'm like, are they talking about genomes?
Oh my god!
It's like so involved. I'm like, and I can't fucking make head. I'm just too stupid for this.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, Dr. Adam Morris, PhD, can watch it and explain it.
Explain this to me, please.
What is this? This is all made up. All right, that's it for this week, everybody. Rugs, where can the listener find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at ReallyRugBoy. That's where you're going to contact me for anything that you need.
Check out our show notes, links to everything
pizza
there.
Recipes.
You got recipes?
Sandwiches.
Yeah. Sandwich recipes. He's got the best sandwich recipes.
I got you.
All right. For all your food recipes, follow him there. Follow us at Jock and Nerdcast on Twitter. Of course, most important thing, share the show. Tell a friend. Spread the word. Jock and Nerd. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. These are all dad jokes. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the Nerd.
We'll see you next time.
Goodbye, you.
Man, you're amateur.
From Carpet Lad.
What the fuck is going on here?
Get your hand off my penis!
Somebody touch my spaghetti!
Carpet Lad. Yes, Carpet Lad.